I'm Fernanda. I am trying this YouTube thing, and I have a couple YouTube videos up already, but they've always been kind of like this, like boring, not boring, but just random videos. And I'm sorry if you hear my sisters. But if you're new to my channel, hi. And if you know me from high school, or if you know me in general, I don't know why I decided to do this, but I kind of just did. I think it's kind of fun to edit videos, and that's why I just wanted to give it a go. I'm saying a lot. I'm kind of nervous. There I go again. My Instagram. If you guys follow me there, I put a poll up asking if you guys wanted to see a fashion related video, or if you guys wanted to see like beauty / fashion, or if you guys wanted to see my weight loss journey, for me to talk about my weight loss journey. If you guys follow me on Instagram, Twitter, any of those social media platforms, you guys may have seen that I have lost a significant amount of weight. I have posted a couple times, just like little throwbacks of when I was a bigger. But this weight loss journey that I've been on, it's been a really long journey. It hasn't happened overnight. It hasn't happened over the course of a year, 2 years. It's been ongoing, and as long as I can remember, I think I have started losing weight since, it was my 8th grade, like late of my 8th grade year. So a little history behind everything. I've always, let's just throw it back. So I've always been an overweight, over height and overweight, like as a kid. So I was always the tallest in my class, and I was also the biggest in my class. Which was fine. I feel like I didn't really understand that I was overweight until I got to the point where I was probably like late elementary school is when I started noticing. And then I feel like I wasn't necessarily bullied. I think I did encounter bullying, but I blocked it out, or like my family never really allowed me, or they were never expressed these feelings or embedded these ideas of being less than or being fat. So I didn't really think of myself as that. It was until later on that I started, like your early teens, that I started comparing myself to other people, and that's when I really saw that I was a lot bigger. I remember I think it was my 7th grade year is the first time I remember weighing myself and like being considerably overweight compared to my friends. So that was my 7th grade year. I weighed myself. Well, you know how during PE they like do standardized tests, and part of it is like weighing you. Well, I never stepped on scales before. I knew I was big, but that was like the big moment that I remember. It was my 7th grade year, so I was probably around, what was it, like 11, no, like 12, and I remember I weighed 230 pounds at 11, 12 years old. At this time I was probably like 5'4", 5'3", 5'4", and I remember having my friends ask me like, oh, like how'd your test go, like how much did you weigh, and they were talking about their weight, and I remember being like, oh, I'm 190, like, oh my god, I'm so big, I'm 190. And they were like, oh, you're not big, like I'm 170. I don't know, like they said theirs. And in my head, I knew that I had lied because I was ashamed of the weight I was, right? So that was that. But then that year, I kept going. And the following year, after my 7th grade year, moving on to my 8th, is when my family and I moved to at least 2-3 hours away. So we had to get new doctors, pretty much everything, right? New school, everything. So once we started going to a new doctor, that's when the physical started, right? The physicals, like the yearly physical. I needed to get a physical to get to go into school. So I took a physical, and that year, starting before I went into school, so early August, I went to the doctor, and the heaviest I've ever seen the scale go was, it's kind of hard to say. Some of you guys are, some close friends and stuff, they know, and not even most of my family knows. I think it's just like my mom and like my dad. But I got to weighing 260 pounds by the time I was 12, turning 13. So I remember at 13 years old, I was, 260, around 260 pounds. And again, I was like probably 5'4", 5'5" at this point. So that was a lot of weight I was carrying around. But going forth with my 8th grade year, I was a new student. And it wasn't really hard for me to make friends. I was always pretty okay with making friends. And the people in my community were really, really nice. So that was like no problem. But once the year started like going, I started having a lot of knee pain. So this had me going to the doctor multiple times, and I was referred to a bone doctor. I don't know what you call them. I was referred to a doctor, and they took x-rays, and basically they told me that the reason my knees hurt was because I was putting so much weight on my knees, and your knees are not supposed to carry that much weight, especially at 12 years old and at 5'4", 5'5". Your body's not built to be carrying around 260 pounds. So that's when it really hit me. The doctor was like, so I think the best option for you is to lose weight, either through diet and exercise, or again, and he looked at my mom and he was like, or you can do this through surgery, through the gastric bypass, through plastic surgery. And that scared the living shit out of me. Like it scared me. I have never had surgery done on me, and I knew if I didn't change my life that I was gonna have to get either surgery on my knees, surgery to lose weight. At this point, now looking back, I didn't realize how much my weight was affecting me. I remember getting home from school and crashing out. Like I was so tired. So tired. Like I remember my mom got super mad at me one time because I came home and I knocked out, and I was supposed to wait for my sister because I locked the door and she didn't have a key, and my sister was waiting outside and I was inside sleeping and I didn't hear her because I was so tired. I would come home all the time super tired, and that's when, now looking back at it, I'm like, whoa, like I was a completely different person. So from then I started going more regularly to the doctor, and we started working on what I was eating. I wasn't referred to a nutritionist, but I was kind of consulted, like, hey, how much exercise are you doing? What are you eating? And honestly, what I can say, and even my mom agrees with this, is I was not eating super unhealthy, but like when I was obese, it's kind of hard saying that, but I was obese. And I don't think I'm skinny now. I think I'm at a healthy weight for me personally right now, because a lot compared to how I was before, right? I'm still considered overweight on the chart, right? But I think of myself as healthy more so than I think of myself as like overweight. And I was at the point where I was, right? So basically I started watching what I was eating, and that definitely helped. For me, it was more portions and it was like eating unhealthy food. I didn't really have too much chips and crazy stuff like that you see like other people like binge on, right? So like fast food, that was not, still not a fan of fast food. I can do it like sometimes, but it's kind of like gross to me. So it was definitely like portioning my intake of like whatever it was that I was eating, and also like timing it. So not eating super late. That was like the first couple steps that I took. I was recommended by my doctor not to run. So all my 8th grade year, I would walk my miles. I remember like completely like everybody be running, and I had an excuse. So I would just walk because my knees couldn't like tolerate it. It really hurt my knees. So that was one. I would just walk. I live really close to the beach, so I would just walk to the beach and back. So that was like the little steps that I took initially. And then I hit a plateau. So I probably, let's say I lost like my first 20 pounds, and that was a big deal for me. Like that was huge. It was like just noticing that my pants were a little bit looser was so exciting to me. And I didn't know I didn't know how to feel, but it just felt good, right? Because who doesn't feel good when they lose weight? So that was the first thing I took. But then I hit a plateau and I wasn't losing any weight. I got really frustrated, and so I went back to my doctor, and at this point they brought up again like the idea of surgery for the weight loss. And again, I was like, no, that's too scary. That's just not something I'm willing to do. So something that a lot of you guys don't know is that, and I don't recommend this to anyone. I'm not a nutritionist. I can't tell you what to do. This is like the right way. This is the only way. This is just kind of something that worked for me initially. The doctor that I had at the moment, he prescribed me this one medication, and I'm not exactly sure what it was or what it is, but basically it tricks your mind and your stomach to think it's full. So it reduces your urge to eat or to like binge eat, right? To like overeat. So this is what I was on this medication for a 3-month period, because you can't take it longer than 3 months because it's a really strong apparently. And in those 3 months, that's when I lost the most significant amount of weight. This was at the end of my 8th grade year. So over that summer, I think I lost a total of like, if I had lost 20, like 15, 20 before, I think I lost a good like 35. So at this point, I was already 60 pounds down in my weight loss journey. So 8th grade year, I mean my freshman year of high school, I came in and people were telling me like, wow, you look so different, like you lost so much weight. And I noticed it, but it's really hard, and that's why I always post pictures, because whenever I post pictures, it's the moments that I have one of two things. So when I post pictures, it's usually because one, I'm feeling super unconfident that the mirror is not reflecting all the work that I've put in. Or two is like, I'm rocking it. Like I feel so good. My body feels so good. So, and that's what is hard to comprehend. When people were giving me these compliments, I was accepting them and I was acknowledging them. But for the most part, what I saw in the mirror at the moment didn't reflect what people were telling me, right? So I was already at like 200 pounds, 210. And so all through high school, it was kind of fluctuating. I was no longer on the medication, and I had better control over what I was eating, the exercise I was doing. I was able to run again. So that was cool. It was really great. My knee pain was gone. So that was really, really awesome. And but I was still unhappy. I was still unhappy. My weight just kept fluctuating up and down. And by my senior year, I was back up at 230. And boy, let me tell you, I was so upset, so sad. Like again, I'm a pretty happy person in general, and I didn't let that stop me. But it was sad knowing how much I had put in and having had to take so much steps back. I went into my freshman year of college at like roughly 230, right? Again, not my best. I had already gone up almost half of what I lost, which was so devastating. But that's the thing with weight loss. It's so unpredictable, and it's so easy to gain and so hard to lose. Like you have no idea how hard it is to lose, but in a matter of like weeks, if you're not taking care of yourself, that scale just goes right back up. And that's because this goes into like why I started losing weight again. So I think it was my second quarter. I took a nutrition class, and this class, it was for a random GE, but I was like, okay, let's take it. Let's see what this. And in this class is when I learned about carbs, and I learned about protein, and I learned about all these crazy stuff about food. And I had an idea, like when I would talk to my doctor, she'd be like, okay, avoid carbs because carbs are bad, right? And like breads, sugars, etc. But taking this class introduced me to like different ways of dieting, and they didn't push any diets on us. They just introduced like these different diets that people do, and one of the diets that they introduced was a keto diet. So the keto diet is basically high protein, high fat, low carb diet. So when I heard of this, the professor said, yes, people that do this diet lose weight super quickly. So I'm on sister duty. Okay. So like I was saying, sorry. Like I was saying, so I was introduced to the keto diet. Okay, this is gonna be weird if she's not in it. Okay. And she let us know that, yes, people lose a lot of weight really fast, but yeah. But again, once people stop this diet, because it's really hard to maintain this diet, because it is so strict on the carb intake that you partake in. When you start eating carbs again, your weight can go back up. So this brought my interest into trying this. It was like halfway into my freshman year and of college, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this. Instead of eating DC food and going into instead of eating DC food, I'm gonna start meal prepping when I go home, and then bring my meals prepped, and that's what I'm gonna eat. So I cleared all my dorm of chips, of ice cream, actually no, I still had ice cream. That was like my cheat. I cleared my dorm of anything that was to be tempting to me, right? Having this form of diet is what contributed so much to what I have lost up to this point. After doing this, I left my freshman year. I finished my freshman year of college weighing, getting down to 200 pounds. I think it was like roughly, I got to the 200s. Like I was no longer 230. I had lost like 30 pounds in the rest of that year until, so like early June, I had gotten to 200, which was so exciting because like I was back at 200 and that was so insane to me. So at this point I had lost what I had gained back. So it was 30, another 30. I was back to 200. And that was insane. That was such a big moment for me, and it's such a big milestone for me. So basically, right after that was my summer. I worked all summer. Again, eating DC food because I worked on campus. But I was smarter with my food choices at this point. I did go a little bit up on weight just because it is summer, right? Like it's summer. But nothing crazy. My sophomore year of college, I had my own apartment, which meant I had my own kitchen, which made meal prepping so much easier because I didn't have to like do it in like huge quantities, which kind of grossed me out sometimes, like when I was eating like out of my mini fridge. The first couple months of being in my own apartment, I went back to my healthy style of eating. Again, not being as harsh as I was back when I was in the dorms. I was basically eating chicken, broccoli, and brown rice like every day. Or if it wasn't broccoli, if it wasn't chicken, it was beef. And let me tell you, chicken gets real boring, but that's what I was eating. Again, I wasn't limiting myself. I would still eat like my favorite like snacks with my roommates. But my second quarter of my sophomore year, I started going more to the gym. So and I would do around 30 to 40 minutes of cardio, elliptical or treadmill, walking on incline, and then I would do weights. Because let me tell you, so I'm currently weighing 180. 180. I'm between 180 190, so I keep fluctuating between 180 and 185, so I'm like in between there, which is ridiculous. That's like almost 79 pounds, right? Yeah, starting from 260 265 and going down to 180 185, that's almost 80 pounds. So yes, so I finally hit the 180 mark, and that's ridiculous. That's almost 80 pounds. My final goal is to reach the 100 pounds lost, and I know I could do it. That's my main goal for this summer, and just in general, like, how ridiculous would it be to say I have lost 100 pounds? Like, that's insane. But with that said, the reason I wanted to make this video is because it is such a long time that I have been working on this, and it's hard to look in the mirror sometimes and see the person that I have become. I look at my stretch marks, I look at my loose skin, because that's a thing, and I could make a video on that if you guys would like me to, or like what I eat maybe, or kind of like my routine at the gym. But loose skin is so real, and it's something that now I have to deal with, but I wouldn't trade it for the world, because like, it's insane. Like, the amount of transformation that I've done. Looking back at my life, how it was at 260 pounds and how it is at 180 is incredible. I went from a size 18 in jeans to right now that I'm a size 11, 12, which is, again, insane. I went from like wearing 2X to wearing a large or a medium. So I can go more in depth on that if you guys would like me to, but I just want to make this video to like congratulate myself. Like, it's hard. And I might look at this video now. I might look at this video now and feel great about how I look and what I'm doing and what I'm telling you guys right now. But tomorrow I could wake up and this, what I like to call fat girl mentality, and it's a whole nother thing. A lot of people that have been obese in the past talk about this, and it's so real. It's insane, and I hate it with all my heart. But basically, your physical appearance has changed, but in your head, it's kind of stuck mentally how you used to look. Obviously, my appearance has changed, and so has my confidence, and I think that has like come across, right, social media and through my friends, and like relationships. But it has also been such a barrier when it comes to relationships and friendships. I tend to push people away because, again, I go back to that mentality of I'm too fat, I'm too big, they're not gonna really like me. And I don't know, it's like a whole nother thing that I could make a video on. But the whole idea of like, you're pretty for a fat girl type of idea was in my head. And what is constantly still in my head, because I still sometimes perceive myself as that, right? Looking back, it's scary. But that's why I wanted to make this video. I just wanted to share with you all kind of like how these past I don't know, I think it's been 6 years. Yeah, like roughly 6 years have been, 7 years have been with my weight. So I'm down 180, and I'm not down 180. I'm down 80 pounds. And that's Popo. Sister duties. Down 80 pounds. But again, that's not my final goal, and don't let anybody discourage you. I think I will know when I'm healthy or when I'm at my goal weight. Currently, I'm happy with where I'm at, but I just know that I can go so much further. And yeah, that's where I stand right now. But if you guys have any questions, I know it was a long and confusing video and I was all over the place because I didn't plan anything. I just kind of turned on the camera and spilled what I was thinking about doing. But I hope you learned more about me and like kind of what I've been going through. I know a lot of you watching are probably with me through these years that I've been having to deal with this kind of silently and to myself. I think my biggest supporter has been my mom, and a couple of friends that, again, like, I've only been super open with a couple of them because it is something that's really hard to express and have others understand. But yes, so thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any questions or suggestions for videos, I know I've kind of went into talking about like the keto diet, fat girl mentality, and other stuff like that. If you guys want me to elaborate more, just make sure to leave that in the comment. Follow me on Instagram and Snapchat, Twitter for more updates and transformation pictures. I'm trying to get myself more comfortable with posting transformation pictures. I have a lot that I took when I was bigger, but it's scary opening up and putting those out there because, again, it's not something that I'm proud of being that big, but I do have pictures and I kind of just keep most of them to myself. I do post a couple of them, but if that would help you guys kind of get motivated, or if you guys want to see more, make sure to let me know. If you guys have any questions, DM me and I will be gladly to help. But I think that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching. Say bye, Ellie.
Bye.
Okay, bye everyone.